This video we're going to look at graphical solutions of equations. We're going to look at an example here on this, and it says the grid shows a graph of y is equal to x squared minus 3x minus 2. So this typically is given to you, not always. Sometimes they would ask you to draw this. So a bit of plotting curve graphs would come into play. But you can see they've got that graph drawn there. The question then goes on and asks you to do, what it asks you to do here is to by drawing appropriate straight lines, solve the equations graphically. And it was, the first one is x squared minus 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. So I'm just going to do these over here. We had x squared minus 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. Now look at your equation that's drawn. It is x squared minus 3x minus 2. And what we've got here is x squared minus 3x minus 2. So what you have to do, because you've got your equation on the left-hand side, the equation of your curve, you just draw y equals to whatever is on the right-hand side. So what's on the right-hand side is 0. So we'll just say equation of curve is on the LHS, the left-hand side. So draw y equal to whatever is on the right-hand side. So here we want to say we draw y equals 0. Now in actual fact, y equals 0 is the x-axis, so you don't actually need to draw it. It's already there for you. So all you're seeing is where that x-axis, in this case the y equals 0 line, meets your curve, which was x squared minus 3x minus 2. So we can just put a wee dot here, a dot here to show our solutions, and then you're just reading off what those x values are. So for me, they look to be, so my answer, x is equal to, and to me that looks like minus 0.6, the first one, and the other one is going to be 3.6. Part B is a little bit different. Part B, we have got x squared minus 3x minus 2 is equal to 3. And look back up here, our curve is x squared minus 3x minus 2. So that's what we've got on our left-hand side. So we just have to say, we draw, to do this, to solve this, we draw whatever's on the right-hand side. What's on the right-hand side is 3. So we draw y is equal to 3. So I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to draw the line y equals 3, which is a horizontal line through 3 on the vertical axis. You can see now that I have drawn my line y equals 3. Here it is, this horizontal line through 3 on the vertical axis. What we now need to do is see where the x values are. So if you can imagine, I'll be rubbing these out in a wee second, but you imagine you're tracing down, vertically down to see where this cuts the curve and seeing what those x values are. So the x values I have got when I've looked at that was x is equal to minus 1.2 or x is equal to 4.2. Part C, so we're on to part C. Part C we have to do x squared minus 3x minus 2 is equal to minus 2. Now again, look at our left-hand side, we have x squared minus 3x minus 2, and up here our curve was x squared minus 3x minus 2. So a very simple one again. What we're going to do is draw y is equal to whatever's on the right-hand side, so y is equal to minus 2. So y equals minus 2 is again a horizontal line through minus 2 on your vertical axis. I'm going to pause the video and draw that now. You can see I have that drawn, y equals minus 2, horizontal line through minus 2 on the vertical axis. And then we just see where it crosses. So again, you can see it crosses here on my vertical. And then, on my vertical axis, my y-axis, which corresponds to 0, x equals 0. So x equals 0, and over here as well, it goes over here, which is going to be 3, bang on 3. So x equals 0 and x equals 3. This next example says the graph of y is equal to 2x squared minus x minus 3 is shown. Solve the equation 2x squared minus x minus 3 is equal to x minus 2. So first of all, we're just going to write our equation down, what we want to solve. 2x squared minus x minus 3 is equal to x minus 2. Want to solve this graphically. Okay, you've already got this. This is what we our left-hand side is our curve, so all we're doing is we're going to draw what our right-hand side is. So draw y equals the right-hand side, which is x minus 2. Now we know how to draw y equals x minus 2, so just a wee reminder. Remember, y is equal to mx plus c, where m is your gradient and c is your intercept. So to draw this graph, it has an intercept of -2, so it crosses here, and it has a gradient of 1. So here, we're just going to say m is equal to 1, and your c is equal to -2. So a gradient of 1 means for every one wee box I go across, I go up 1. So I'm going to go across 4 wee boxes, or 4. If I go across 4 units, I'm going to go up 4 units. Or in this case, I'm going across 2 units, and up 2 units will take me here. So there's 2 points which I know my line is going to be on. So I'm going to rub those wee dashed lines out. So there's 2 points I'm going to use. So I'm using the gradient intercept method to draw the graph. There's other methods we could use. You could do it on a table of values, lots of different ways. Go back and look at your notes earlier on. But that's the way I'm going to use. So I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to draw my straight line, and then we will come back to it. You can see here I've got my y is equal to x minus 2 drawn, and now all we have to see is the x values where these two lines cross. So basically I'm going to be going up from this point to meet my axes, and up from this point to meet my axes. Okay, so we have to figure out what these x values are. Now look at what we've got, our units. 4 wee squares represents 2, so that means 1 square is equal to 0.5. So this is as best as we can. So 1 square is 0.5. And then we will just figure out what we have got then for this. Okay, this first one over here looks to me like it is going to be x is equal to minus 0.4. And the other one, so the one over here I'm talking about, that would be 0.5, that would be 1, that would be 1.5, so it looks like it's going to be about 1.4, maybe 1.3, but I'm going to go 1.4, and that is it. Next example says, here's a curve y is equal to x squared, use it to solve each of these equations. Part A, we have got x squared is equal to 7. Now the curve that you have got drawn is y is equal to x squared. So you've got that on the left-hand side. So all you want to do for this first one is draw y is equal to 7. So I'm going to pause the video and draw the horizontal line y equals 7. You can see my horizontal line drawn. If I trace down, and I'm doing this very roughly, obviously I'm going to measure it properly, and see what you get. The x values I got were going to be x is equal to minus 2.7, and then x is equal to positive 2.7. Part B. Part B, we have to do x squared is equal to x plus 5. So in this case, we're just going to draw y is equal to x plus 5. Okay, you can see I have marked on my intercept here, which was 5, and I have to do a gradient of 1. I just want to show you this one. This is a wee bit trickier. Right, look at the units on the horizontal. 2, so from here to here is 1, so this is me going across 1, and I will need to go up 1. So going up 1 unit would take me up to here. So in the horizontal, it's the scale is, and the horizontal scale and vertical scale are slightly different. So that's going across 1 and up 1. So that takes me to this point. So if I link up those 2 points and see where I get to, or I can go on along another, 2 across and 1 up, and that would take me to this point. So there's 3 points. So I'm going to rub those out, those be steps, I should say, and then the stepping system there, and then we will just link up those points with a ruler. Okay, I've got my line drawn. I'll just label it. That was y is equal to x plus 5. And then we have to realize where our points are going to be. So it met here. So go down to your axes and see what you get. And also it meets over here, and go down to your axes and see what you get. So when I did that, what I got was For part B, I got x is equal to minus 1.9, or x is equal to, and it was 2.8. So not too accurate, my one I've drawn with my lines, but you can see that's the proper values which I got. Okay, one more part in this one. We've got x squared is equal to 2x plus 1. Again, you can see we've got x squared is equal to, that's our curve, happy days, we just draw what's on the right hand side. So we want to draw y is equal to 2x plus 1. We want to draw y equals 2x plus 1. So that means your intercept is 1 and the gradient is 2. So as I go across 1, that's 1 unit, going across 1 unit, and going up 2. So that takes me up to here. So there's 2 points for me to draw. So I'll pause the video again and draw those, link those 2 points up. Okay, you can see I've drawn my y is equal to 2x plus 1, and have a look at where they cross and then go down to your axes. So x is equal to, and it works out to be, for part C, I have got minus 0.4, or I have got, and it's going to be 2.4. And that is that example done. This example, first of all, asks you to plot the graph of y is equal to x squared minus 3x minus 3, for minus 4 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 6. So to do this, first of all, how we're going to get this point, I'll just do one of these. What you're going to do in your calculator, you've got all the x values along the top, and then you've got to find the corresponding y values. So how you do the first one, it's x squared, so you're going to do minus 4 in brackets squared, and then minus 3, and instead of x, you're writing minus 4, and then you've got minus 3. So you do that on your calculator and press equals, and you will get 25. When you do that for the rest of them, so you do brackets minus 3 squared, minus 3 upon brackets minus 3, then minus 3 is equal to 15. Next one is 7, next one is 1, next one is minus 3, next one is minus 5, next one is minus 5 again, then we've got minus 3, then you've got 1, then you've got 7, then you've got 15. It is not unusual, folks, to have some sort of symmetry the way we have here. So you can see you've got minus 5 and a minus 5, then going outwards you've got minus 3 and minus 3, you've 1 and 1, you've 7 and 7, 15 and 15, and so on. That's not unusual, so if you see that, don't be thinking you've done it wrong. It is very common for that to happen. Next thing for us to do is plot our graph. So the first point is at minus 4, we're at 25. At minus 3, we're at 15. At minus 2, we're at 7. At minus 1, we're at 1. At 0, we're at minus 3. At 1, you're at minus 5. At 2, you're at minus 5. At 3, you're at minus 3. At 4, you're at 1. At 5, you're at 7. And at 6, you're at 15. And then we've got all our points, and then I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to do my best to draw this as a smooth curve. Okay, you can see I've got my curve drawn, not too bad. We have a few questions here. I'm going to do them at the side so that we can still see our graph. So part 1, we were asked to solve x squared minus 3x minus 3 equals 0. So for this one, you're just going to draw y equals 0. Now y equals 0, remember, is the y-axis. Sorry, it's not the y-axis, it's the x-axis. So you want to then just see where it crosses, your curve crosses the x-axis. And it crosses when x is equal to, and I've got, very roughly, I've got minus 0.75. So it looks like it's sort of halfway between the 6 and the 8. So minus 0.75, minus 0.7 maybe. I think it's a wee bit closer to the minus 0.8. Okay, the other one, I have got it has crossed at 3.8. It's a wee bit easier to see at 3.8. So your answers may vary slightly different, and if your answers do not look the same as mine, don't be forcing them to be the same as mine if they're slightly different. So just go with whatever it is. There's going to be a wee bit of room for error, basically, when you draw these graphs. So they're not perfect. Okay, part 2 asks us to solve x squared minus 3x minus 3 is equal to 4. So this is where we have to draw our horizontal line going through 4. So there you've got your horizontal line. That was y is equal to 4. And the x values, where that crosses in, I've worked that out to be minus x equals minus 1.5, or x is equal to, and it looks to me like it is roughly 4.5. So here you can see, bring that down, it's 4.5, and this one, bring this one down, it's roughly 1.5 there. So it's a wee bit of room for error in both of those. Okay, part 3. What we are to do is solve x squared minus 3x minus 3 is equal to x plus 5. So we've got to draw, first of all, y is equal to x plus 5. So that means it has a gradient, an intercept of 5 and a gradient of 1. So as I go across 1, I'm going up 1. So that would take me to here, okay, this single point here. So I'm going to make life a wee bit easier. I'm going to go across 5, which would take me to 5. And if I go across 5, I'll go up 5. So if you can get your points a wee bit further away, that makes life easier. So I'm going through these 2 points and see how I get on. And there you have, that was my line. Y is equal to x plus 5. And if you see where those points meet, so I'm going down from here, and I'm going down from here, and the answers I have got then are going to be, and one is looking to me like it's minus 1.4, and the other one then looks like it's going to be 5.4. Okay, part 4, we had to do x squared minus 3x minus 3 is equal to 10 minus 2x. So tricky one here. They say draw y is equal to, what we have to do is draw y is equal to 10 minus 2x, which is the same as minus 2x plus 10. So that's got an intercept of 10 and a gradient of minus 2. So as I go across 1, I go down 2, so it'll take me down to here. As I go across another one, that'll take me down to here. As I go across another one, that will take me down to here. So I'm going to use that point on the y-axis and the point I've just put on, because they're a wee bit separated, make it a wee bit easier for me to draw a good line. And there we have it. So that was my y is equal to, and I'm going to write it the way they'd written it originally, 10 minus 2x. And then we see what the x values are. So it meets here, so go down to your axes, and it meets here, and again down to your axes, and see what you get. So when I did that one out, I have got, very roughly, I have got x is equal to, and it's going to look like minus 3.2, and then x, and this one is a bit more rough, maybe a wee bit off this one, 4.2 is what I've got.